The Lost Dog on Christmas Eve. Last Christmas, the town of Winterville was busier than ever. Snow fell from the early morning, covering the roofs, streets, and trees. Children were building snowmen, parents were shopping for last-minute gifts, and Christmas music played from every shop. The whole town looked cheerful. But for one girl, this Christmas felt different. Emma, now 15, had lost her grandmother a few months earlier. Her grandmother loved Christmas, and every year they decorated the tree together. This year, Emma didn't feel the same excitement. She helped her parents hang lights, but her heart felt heavy. She missed her grandmother very much. On Christmas Eve, Emma's mother asked her to deliver a basket of cookies to the community centre. Emma agreed, hoping the walk might help her feel better. As she walked through the snowy streets, she noticed something strange. A small dog was running around, barking at people. It looked scared and lost. People walked past it, too busy with their shopping. Emma slowly approached the dog. "Hey, it's okay," she said softly. The dog stopped barking and looked at her with wide brown eyes. It was shaking from the cold. Emma couldn't leave it there, so she wrapped it in her scarf and carried it with her. When she arrived at the community centre, she asked the workers if anyone had reported a missing dog. No one had. Emma felt worried. She couldn't just leave the dog outside. A volunteer told her, "You can leave it here, we will take care of it." But when Emma tried to put the dog down, it cried and held onto her sleeve. She realised it felt safe with her. Emma decided to search for the owner. She walked from house to house, asking people if they had lost a dog. Most said no, but one old lady said she heard a child crying earlier, calling for a pet. Emma thanked her and walked toward the houses at the end of the street. After a few minutes, she heard a small voice. "Molly, where are you?" Emma followed the sound and saw a little boy standing in front of his house, tears on his cheeks. When the dog saw him, it jumped from Emma's arms and ran to him. The boy hugged the dog tightly. "Molly, I thought you were gone forever." The boy's mother came out and thanked Emma again and again. She said the boy had been sick and losing his dog made him even sadder. The boy looked at Emma with bright eyes and said, "You saved my Christmas." Emma felt her heart warm for the first time in months. She remembered something her grandmother always said. Christmas is not about what you get. It's about what you give to others. At that moment, Emma understood it more clearly than ever. As she walked home, snowflakes fell softly on her hair. The town looked more beautiful now. Her sadness didn't disappear completely, but it felt lighter. She realized that helping others was a way to heal herself too. That night, Emma placed a small candle by her window for her grandmother. She whispered, "I hope you saw what I did today. I learned something important." And for the first time that winter, Emma smiled, knowing that this Christmas would always stay in her memory. Not because of presents, but because she discovered that kindness, even a small act, could bring light to someone else's world and to her own. The Christmas that came back to us. My name is Clara, and last Christmas was one I will never forget. It taught me more about love, hope, and family than any holiday before it. Everything started 2 weeks before Christmas. Our small town was getting colder every day, and snow covered the streets like a soft blanket. People rushed in and out of shops buying gifts and food. But in my home, things didn't feel cheerful. My husband had lost his job, and we were worried about money. Even though I tried to smile in front of my children, inside I was scared. I wanted them to have a happy Christmas, but I didn't know how to make that happen. My daughter Lily, who was only 8, kept asking, "Mum, will we still have Christmas this year?" I always answered, "Of course, sweetie," even when I wasn't sure. One cold evening, after putting the kids to bed, I sat at the kitchen table with a cup of tea, feeling tired. That's when I heard a soft knock on the door. When I opened it, I saw an elderly woman from our neighbourhood, Mrs. Ellis. She lived alone, and many people in the town barely noticed her. "I baked too many cookies," she said kindly. "Would you like some?" Her smile was warm, and I felt my eyes get wet. It had been a long time since someone showed me such simple kindness. The next morning, I decided to take Lily and my younger son Ben to the town square to see the big Christmas tree. I thought it might lift their spirits. The tree stood tall, shining with colourful lights, and children were laughing and playing around it. But while we were there, we saw a boy sitting alone on a bench, crying quietly. His clothes were thin and he looked cold. Lily tugged my sleeve. "Mum, can we help him?" We walked over to him and I asked gently, "Are you okay?" The boy looked up and whispered, "I lost my wallet. I was supposed to buy dinner for my grandma, but now I can't." His voice shook with fear. Without thinking, I took the last $20 I had in my pocket and placed it in his hands. "Go get the food, dear. Your grandma needs you." His eyes widened. "But this is too much." "It's Christmas," I said. "It's a time to care for each other." The boy hugged me tightly before running toward the market. My kids watched in silence, and I could see their eyes shining, not because of the lights, but because they understood something important. That night, when we returned home, we found a surprise on our doorstep, a big box. On top of it was a note that said, "For a mother with a kind heart, Merry Christmas." Inside the box were food, warm clothes, small toys for the children, and even a gift card for groceries. I covered my mouth with my hand, trying not to cry. My kids jumped with joy, and Lily said, "Mum, I told you Christmas would come." In that moment, I realised something powerful. Kindness always returns to you, even if you give it when you have little. Maybe someone had seen what happened at the town square, or maybe it was just Christmas magic. But that night, my house felt warmer than ever. When Christmas morning arrived, we didn't have many fancy gifts, but we had each other. And we had something more important, a story about giving, hope, and the belief that even in hard times, good things can find their way back to you. And that was the Christmas I learned, that the best gifts are the ones we give from the heart.
The Christmas Knock on My Door. My name is Henry. I am 73 years old, and last Christmas reminded me that even when you feel forgotten, life can still surprise you in the warmest ways. For many years, I lived alone in a small wooden house at the edge of Maple Street. My wife passed away long ago, and my children moved to different cities. They visited less and less as the years went by. I did not blame them. They had their own lives. But every December, when Christmas lights started to appear around town, the house felt a little quieter, and my heart felt a little heavier. Last Christmas, the weather was colder than usual. Snow piled up outside my door, and the wind whistled through the trees behind my house. I spent my days reading old books, fixing broken chairs, and talking to my cat, Milo. The only sounds I heard were the clock ticking and Milo purring. One afternoon, while shoveling snow from my walkway, I slipped and fell. I didn't break anything, but I hurt my leg. The pain made it hard to walk, so I had to rest at home. I worried because I needed groceries, but I didn't want to bother anyone. A few days passed, and I started to feel lonely. I remembered the Christmases from my past, the laughter, the big dinners, the smell of cinnamon and pine. Those memories felt like warm light in a dark room. On Christmas Eve, I heard a knock on my door. I wasn't expecting anyone. When I opened it, I saw a teenage boy I had seen around the neighborhood. His name was Ethan. He lived 3 houses away with his mother. "Good evening, Mr. Henry," he said, holding a bag of groceries. "Mom and I brought you something." I was surprised. "For me? But why?" Ethan smiled shyly. "We noticed you haven't been outside much. Mom said you might need a little help. Also, you fixed my bike last summer. I never forgot that." His mother stepped forward and handed me a small wrapped box. "We wanted to make sure you're okay. No one should be alone on Christmas." I felt my eyes fill with tears, something that doesn't happen often at my age. They helped me carry the groceries inside and even put up a small Christmas decoration, a tiny glowing tree that fit perfectly on my table. Before leaving, Ethan said, "We're having dinner tonight. If you want, you can join us. My mom makes the best Christmas chicken." I hesitated for a moment, then nodded. I would like that very much. That evening, I sat at their table, surrounded by laughter, stories, and warm food. For the first time in many years, I felt like I belonged somewhere again. I watched Ethan joke with his mother, and I felt something inside me soften. When I returned home later that night, my small house didn't feel so empty. The little glowing tree filled the room with a gentle light. I sat in my chair, Milo on my lap, and whispered to myself, maybe Christmas isn't about age or gifts. Maybe it's about being remembered and remembering others. That night, as snow fell softly outside, I realized something important. Kindness can reach you even when you think no one is looking your way. And sometimes the smallest act, a knock on the door, a bag of groceries, can change a lonely Christmas into a warm and unforgettable one.